Streaks on the china, never met it before. Who cared when you drop?
That's Belvedere. Lynn Belvedere.
Mr. Belvedere ran for over 100 episodes on ABC from 1985 through 1989, and on the new podcast Belvedere Bros, we're watching them all. Starring the late, great Christopher Hewitt as Lynn Aloysius Belvedere, the show had just as much heart as it did laughs. Every Friday on the One Hit Thunder feed, we're diving into another episode of Mr. Belvedere, sharing our thoughts on the episode and relating the lessons we take away to our own lives. Go subscribe to One Hit Thunder wherever you get your pods so you never miss an episode of Belvedere Bros.
Hey everybody, welcome to the fourth and final episode of our month-long lead-up to the Less Than Jake Summer Circus Tour with the Suicide Machines, Fishbone, Bite Me Bambi, and Catbite. The tour starts this Saturday, June 7th in Atlanta, Georgia at the Masquerade. For tickets to this and all other dates, visit lessthanjake.com. Today's guest is none other than Roger Lima, bassist and co-lead vocalist for our band, Less Than Jake, from Gainesville, Florida. Together we discuss the writing, recording, and inspiration behind the single, Sunnyside, taken from the 2024 EP, Uncharted. To say this song was a collaborative band effort would be an understatement. Sunnyside was all hands on deck. The origins of the tune date all the way back to 2004, and the fact that the idea ever came to fruition is a bit of a head-scratcher. Typically, song ideas don't stick around very long in the Less Than Jake camp. We usually use them immediately, or they get left on the cutting room floor. We're constantly writing and moving forward, so it's both odd and really cool that we stayed the course and saw this one through. I have a feeling we're going to be playing this song live for a long time to come. So for all this and life advice from a random in Atlantic City, stick around.
Hey, hey, have you heard? Krista makes a podcast. Hey, hey, have you heard? Krista makes a podcast. Hey, hey, have you heard? Krista makes a podcast. Hey, hey, have you heard? Krista makes a podcast.
All right, Raj, I know that we both wrote Sunnyside, but I've really put a lot of time in the last couple of days really diving back in and thinking about this track because I'm the host of the podcast. With that said, this song is probably one of the weirder ones that we've put together. There's a ton of parts. This song's lineage goes all the way back to 2004. You and I both collaborated, probably more lyrically you than me. I did write some stuff in this, but interesting song.
I agree. It's an interesting song, and I'm glad that we were able to visit this vibe of a song. I feel like we had some songs that had sort of this general vibe, but I don't think we ever nailed it. Like the song that comes to mind is that Don't Fall Asleep on the Subway song.
Right.
I feel like we were messing around with this sort of vibe, this sort of groove, this like slower, heavier thing. But I feel like, I don't know, Sunnyside, I feel like we got that we kind of got it right. Like that's what we wanted to get out of the other song.
And at some point I remember when we were still rehearsing this down in Gainesville, I can't recall if it was the first time we tracked it or might have been in rehearsals before we went out to the blasting room to record it. But I remember you saying, no, this should be kind of like a big rock song like Guns N' Roses, because we were talking about shortening the bridge part, which is pretty epic and pretty long for Less Than Jake.
Yeah, I kind of remember that. But yeah, the theme was we were going for a big song, a big arena sounding song with a big breakdown that really like kind of just comes down to the nitty gritty of that snare drum cracking in the bridge and just a very simple guitar line. It's just hooky. You know, you and I both have always kind of like leaned towards some things that somebody might call arena rock.
Yeah.
And I think this has a little bit of those elements in there.
Yeah. Well, we haven't really had a chance. We did some shows last year, club shows. And of course we've been playing it in the clubs, but we haven't taken this to festivals. So I'm stoked to go out and play this in Europe and we can get the festival crowds clapping along to the middle bridge part of this tune. But Going back again, I had built a Pro Tools studio in January of 2004. Prior to that, I was still messing around with, I think I had like a 4-track, and I went to like a Fostex at some point, maybe an 8-track, I can't remember. And finally I got my act together. I came a little late to the party because you had been working with Pro Tools for about 4 years at that point, Raj. And I had this keyboard that I was playing primitive drum beats on that I was looping in Pro Tools, and I wrote the riff, and it just sat there. I played it for you guys. It was way slower. At the time, a lot of stuff was in drop D on the radio, but the stuff that was on drop D then was just, it sounded like drop D. It didn't sound drop D like Warren DeMartini from Rat or Eddie Van Halen was using drop D, because what they were doing was utilizing the heaviness of the low drop D, but they were also playing the higher riffage. So it didn't sound like, oh, that just sounds like an alternative band totally in a drop D arrangement or chord structure.
It's really only drop D because of like the way that it plays on the guitar. It's not really in drop D because it's a lower register kind of song. It's a weird one. Like if you didn't, the bass isn't in drop D. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
It's just to kind of catch a couple of those low notes on the guitar. But I think I remember the riff from forever ago, but it just didn't like stick to anything. It was kind of its own monster and just kind of floated along. But it didn't have other stuff that it went into that like brought more song to the table.
And getting back into the weirdness of this tune is that we like to be, progressively moving forward as a band. Anytime there's a lick, and I brought this up to you, JR is always like, if we didn't record it or use it, then it's a trash idea. And I kind of have always subscribed to that. And it's funny how this riff has continued to somehow live on for 21 years. Going back about probably 2.5, 3 years now, Raj, we had done the initial demos at your house. It was in between the Silver Linings record. We were down at the Moat House, Roger's studio, and we were tracking. And 2 of the songs, one of them was Broken Words, and the other one was Sunnyside. And it was a couple clicks slower, that demo. And we never really ended up doing anything with that. And when we were putting songs together for Uncharted, our latest EP, I was really surprised. We were getting all our demos together, and the first 2 you came to the table with were Sunnyside and Broken Words. You're like, no, I still believe in those. I still want to record those.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, for me, those songs stood the test of time in my own pile of demos and scraps and stuff. And I just, like I said, we were saying before, I really wanted to do the slow, heavy kind of song again. Like I thought that that was like a piece of the puzzle that we never fully like realized. So yeah, I was stoked to like keep those in play.
Yeah, and you start to second guess yourself whenever you're a band. Is this song too epic? Sometimes you ask yourself, bands will say, "Oh, we don't care what anybody thinks." That's baloney. Like you do, you want people to like your music. You want to like your music ultimately first, but you put it out there into the world, and this song got a good response, but it's now, I'm getting texts. I had one the other day from my brother, and he had probably been tipping back a few that night. I think it was a Friday, but he texted me out of nowhere. He's like, dude, Sunnyside, it rules. He was having his moment with the song.
Well, I think it all just comes down to like what the song feels like. And I think it feels really good. And, like a genuine lyric, man, like that lyric, that Sunnyside lyric, that fell from the sky. It fell into my lap, like literally, like someone said that, and I'll tell you that story. But like,
oh well, I can't wait to talk about that because that's kind of the whole crux of this. And I think everybody in the band, including myself, kind of was chewing on that lyric for a long time. But Sunnyside was recorded December 2023 at the Blasting Room in Fort Collins, Colorado. And before I go any further, Raj, this is the final installment of our lead up to the Less Than Jake Summer Circus Tour with our friends the Suicide Machines, Fishbone, Bite Me Bambi, and Catbite. So stoked to have you here. Thank you. The track was produced by Bill Stevenson and Jason Livermore. It was mixed by Jason Livermore. The horns were recorded by Andrew Berlin. It was the 5th and final single released October 8th of 2024, leading up to the release of Uncharted, a 7-song EP that came out November 15th of last year. Sunnyside is also the 5th track on the EP. This song's long, man, 3 minutes and 47 seconds. I'm thinking, look what happens, like 3:30.
Yeah, it's got a big breakdown. It's got a big hand clap breakdown, and it's got 3 choruses in it. It's a real song, man. Sometimes you write what I call like punk rock quickies where there's just two choruses and then we do something else and the song's over. This is full format, man. This is full format.
Well, and I'm definitely glad you're here because I think I have everything, but I'm wondering if there was some extra guitar stuff in areas or if Jason added stuff or because I'm definitely hearing things when I go back and analyze this. But the track's 3 minutes and 47 seconds. 24 bar intro, just guitar for the first 6 bars, a big drop D stereo guitars on bar 7, the bass guitar and a drum fill bring us into the full band, rocking away for another 16 bars. That's drums, bass, stereo guitars, and horns, trombone, and sax. Every time I'm borderline, I hide behind stray pieces of my past life, taking time to realize what's locked inside. And really, you need the pre-chorus to finish the idea. And I know I shouldn't wait. Open up this flooded gate. And we'll get to the pre-chorus, but what do you think's happening here?
Self-realization, man. Self-realization of when you just start to realize that, you know, you can treat yourself a little better and realizing where your mistakes lay and things like that. It's self-realization kind of thing, that you're in control of your destiny and you can open up those flooded gates within yourself.
Have you ever heard people say that I don't live in the past? I look at those people and I'm wondering, like, are they being truthful? Because, like, how do you not? All your memories are 1 second or more ago. They're just boom. They're there and they're gone. And, you know, I love that lyric, stray pieces of my past life, taking time to realize what's locked inside. I know I shouldn't wait. Open up this flooded gate. I love the vocal treatment Jason did here. It's probably the widest, deepest vocal, if that makes sense, that I've ever heard on my voice. It's really cool.
If I remember correctly, we had like 2 other verse versions of this thing. There was some things that were a lengthier lyric or it was some of these lyrics, but with more lyrics, and then it was like a mouthier, more rhythmic melody line. It wasn't quite this spaced out. I think the reason that it sounds like it has so much bigness to it is the way that the rhythm kind of lays against the track. There's plenty of space for the vocal in here.
And it's funny because that was the one part of this song, the verses. Usually the verses or the chorus, that's the first thing we have. You know, that's, you know, maybe not the chorus lyric, but you're going to have the what I consider the bulk of the song in this. But man, the verse melodies were just eluding, I think, both of us. And that was the thing, because just when I thought we were getting something on the initial demo of this, I remember Matt and JR in particular just being like, gosh, the verses just isn't there. I love the rest of it, but it's not there yet.
It took us a minute, but I think we honed in on what felt good. And I don't know, man. I think it says what it says is inviting. It's like, it's relatable. It's like, you know, other people have the same experience of like feeling like, you know, like you're holding back and you're not letting out the best of yourself and things like that.
Drums, bass, and fairly subdued stereo guitars are here in verse 1. The vibe, especially the guitar phrasing, it's moody here. There's definitely something that we struck upon with that mood, and I, again, think that vocal delay works well with that sentiment. Pre-chorus 1, the lyric is, and I know I shouldn't wait, open up this flooded gate. And we kind of do the, you know, Less Than Jake pre-chorus where we dig in a little bit there. We, you know, get the 8th note chops and Matt starting to kind of lift the drums to lead in to chorus 1.
Inside, and I know I shouldn't wait. Open up this flooded gate. I keep my sunny side up and my dirty side down. Keep kicking this life around, and I know I'm not the same. 7 years since I changed my name. Keep my sunny side up and my dirty side down. Burn everything to the ground, 'cause there's no one else to blame. Certain feelings shouldn't last forever.
keep my sunny side up and my dirty side down. Keep kicking this life around. And I know I'm not the same. 7 years since I changed my name. Keep my sunny side up and my dirty side down. Burn everything to the ground, 'cause there's no one else to blame. Certain feelings shouldn't last forever.
That's right.
Yeah, man.
That's them. And I mean it. And I mean that with all of my soul when I sing those words. It feels real. I feel like I'm being really honest about what I'm saying. And it's how I really feel about stuff.
Where were you?
We were playing, it was whatever show we played in Atlantic City, New Jersey. It was like a brewery show.
Oh, it was the AC Beer Fest.
Yes, that was it. The Beer Fest. And I was a couple blocks away from wherever the show was. I think it was outdoors. And I was just crossing the street with my girlfriend. And there was a guy crossing the street coming towards me, and he recognized me, and he was like, hey, I'm super stoked to come to the show tonight. Just excited to be a fan, and just like kind of shook his hand for a second. It wasn't a very long interaction. And he just kind of walked away. And as he was walking away, he's just said, hey man, keep your sunny sides up and your dirty side down. Like, I was just like a thing to say to somebody. And it felt like something that he's probably said 1,000 times. It's probably something he says, whenever he just runs into some acquaintance or something, it was like that dude's line. I don't know. Mm-hmm. And it just stuck with me. It was like, it had like the visual of like the act, like it made me reminded me of like the old "This Is Your Brain on Drugs" commercial from the 80s, where it's like the egg frying on the frying pan. And I was imagining like the sunny side up of an egg, and how it's like, oh, it's like breakfast. It's like happy. It's like the beginning of the day. I don't know, man. I just related to it really hard. I did write it down shortly after that, and just kind of stuck in my head.
Well, and this song for me is, they don't sound anything alike. They're two completely different songs. But another song that you wrote for the EP, you wrote it completely by yourself. I sang the track. We both sang the track. It's called Dead Days. And lyrically, there's stuff in here that I was like, whoa, because Dead Days, you really kind of put some things out there. And in particular, in Sunnyside, the lyric, 7 years since I changed my name.
Yeah, I mean, that's a real lyric in a sense. I did legally change my name after my son was born. I wanted my son to have my grandfather's last name, not my mom's married last name. I grew up with my grandfather as sort of my main father figure, and I always kind of felt like an allegiance to him and to his name. He was such a great guy. And I will also like to say that coincidentally, today is my grandfather's would-be birthday.
Yeah. Happy birthday. He also made a cameo in the Sunnyside video.
He did. He's the captain in the video, which is amazing. But so I did change my name. It was a little bit more than 7 years ago, but 11 or 10 or 9 didn't sing correctly. So there's some poetic justice there in changing that. But and like, I think in doing that, it's just kind of like realizing that you're a different person that you used to be. I think that's like the intention of the lyric is to be like, keep kicking this life around. Like I'm going to keep going through what I'm going through. I'm going to keep going forward, but also realizing that, hey, like I'm different than I used to be. I see things differently than I used to be.
Yeah, and maybe it's because I know you and I kind of know where the lyric is coming from, but I think that lyric's just, I don't know, just that one sticks out in the chorus to me. It's just relatable. I feel that 7 years since I changed my name. I never changed my name. I never went through that, but I don't know. There's something that gravitates me towards that lyric.
Yeah, I thought about it like, in the perspective, like when someone gets married, like sometimes one person will take the other person's last name, and it's like, it just signifies like a change in your life. And it's like a legal name change is kind of a big deal, like you're changing your name on your registration and your driver's license and everything else. And it's kind of a trip. And I think anybody that has changed their name, of marriage or otherwise, like it sticks in your mind. It's a life occasion that you're not just going to brush under the table.
Right. Well, chorus 1, there's no horns in this chorus. And do you remember that conversation? I don't really recall wanting to leave them out, or Did maybe Jason suggest that when we were recording it?
I don't remember exactly. I think the general idea is, though, when we get these songs that have 2 and 3 choruses, is to try to build it over the course of the song. And the first time that you're hearing those lyrics and those melodies, maybe you just want a little bit of clarity there. So we just didn't add any other melodies with the horns for that first chorus. And I think that's like a typical move. I think that's something that we do, is we kind of let the horn parts develop as the song goes on, because the horns kick on immediately after this first chorus. So
exactly, we go back to that re-intro. Well, I'm also hearing, in addition in the chorus, to the stereo guitars, the bass, and the drums. There's no horns here in chorus 1, but the vocals just sound huge. There's harmonies on Sunny Side Up and My Dirty Side Down. There's a harmony on Sunny Side Up and My Dirty Side Down, and on the last line, Feelings Shouldn't Last Forever. And that's Less Than Jake's secret weapon on that high harmony. That's JR there with you, Roger.
It sure is. He can howl those high notes when we need him to, man. It's awesome.
Yeah, we've had producers, we talked about it in JR's episode, Howard Benson and Bill. They can't believe, I don't know if it's because JR's just this, kind of a big dude that he can sing that high. They're like just completely amazed by how high he can get up there. I'm also hearing a 16th note tambourine in here, but man, I cranked the headphones up. I listened to it quiet. Did Jason play a shaker in here too, in the choruses?
I don't know for sure. I think he was doing a little mystery percussion after hours and stuff. There's a couple little weird sounds on the EP that I know we didn't do that. It's like little there was definitely some percussion stuff. And I'm speaking of Jason Livermore, who produced and mixed the album. Jason got in there and did some percussion, and heck, you did too. We're going to get to what you did later. You did some stuff outside of the bass as well, Raj. But we come out of chorus 1 into that reintro, 16 bars, full band. What you were just talking about, man. Now the horns are just killing you. They're just right there. They're rocking away. Yeah, and I think it weirdly fits well. Coming back to that after saying, hey, certain feelings shouldn't last forever. Like, it's kind of like laying it down of like, some things that maybe you're holding on to, it's okay to let go of those things, or the other way around. Some things that you really thought were important maybe aren't important. Like, certain feelings shouldn't last forever. And it says a lot, man. It says, to me, it's very relatable to me about kind of like leaving the past in the past. And again, it kind of comes back to that changing my name line, and kind of like, just like being in the moment and moving forward and trying to put your best foot forward. And then we just get back to that bouncy horn line, and it just feels good. It feels like I understand what you're saying. And now we're going to listen to this horn part and like think about that lyric while we're listening to the horn part. It's kind of like replies well to the end of the chorus. I don't know.
It does. And when Buddy wrote that, horn parts, especially with a guitar riff that busy, and I was married to that guitar riff for a long time. I really loved it. It just never had its place. And finally, in my mind, I'm like, I found a place for this song, or for this riff, excuse me. I found a place for it. Here it's going to live. And now Buddy wants to put a horn part on it. Okay, how's this going to work? And it was brilliant. I loved it pretty much from the first time. I kind of questioned still, should you hear the riff alone? And then finally Livermore was just like, no, the horn part's killer. That's why we just had it there. We didn't even mess with it. It's just like, it's got to be there when it comes on. If I decide to sever ties with days gone by, those feelings wash away. I wonder why it takes your time away from mine. And I know I shouldn't wait. Open up this flooded gate. Same instrumentation as verse 1, but we get an overdriven arpeggiated guitar part right up the middle, courtesy of Roger.
Yeah, we always like to sprinkle a little something on there, and maybe, augment the second verse a little bit, give you a little bit more ear candy. This is a move. This is a move.
Well, and in that move in particular, let me let everyone know real quick how we were working out there. We weren't there long to record these 7 songs. I think it was like 11 or 12 days total, and that was 2 days bookended with travel. We got out there, wasted no time. So while Roger's cutting bass, I'm in another room doing vocals, or, when I'm doing vocals, Roger's in another room writing lyrics. I mean, we're kind of, doing little workshops in different rooms. And I get done with a vocal one day and I come in the room, Roger's like, check this out. And I hit the space bar and then I hear this arpeggiated guitar part. And it's awesome. It's building the song. It's giving you a little bit something else to chew on from verse 1.
I'm with you, man. It's awesome. You gotta build it up. It kind of gives those sort of chords that just have a lot of tension. There's like a little bit of tension chords and notes in there, and this just continues with the vibe of the song.
Hey everybody, we got a lot more coming up with Roger Lima after a few words from our sponsors.
Looking to elevate your music career? DistroKid is a digital music distribution service that enables musicians to distribute their music to online stores and streaming platforms such as Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube Music, Amazon, Tidal, and many more. DistroKid collects earnings and payments, sending them to you, the artist. With DistroKid, artists unlock a world of possibilities. From easily paying collaborators with splits to securing your music with DistroLock, DistroKid covers all bases. Plus, you can promote your releases with Hyperfollow and create eye-catching visuals with a Spotify Canvas generator, all for free. But that's not all. Introducing the DistroKid app, now available on iOS and Android. Artists can manage their releases, view streaming stats, and withdraw earnings, all from the palm of their hand. And for those looking to perfect their sound, check out Mixia. With its simple interface and customizable mastering options, artists can make their music sound polished and professional within minutes. And don't forget about Instant Share, DistroKid's newest feature. Share large files securely with collaborators, producers, and more, ensuring your music streams at the highest quality. Ready to take your music to the next level? Download the DistroKid app and explore their suite of tools today. Plus, listeners can enjoy 30% off their first year by visiting distrokid.com/VIP/DeMakes. That's distrokid.com/VIP/DeMakes. Hey everyone, Chris DeMakes here, and I've got some exciting news. Chris DeMakes a Podcast is now on Patreon. Your support is what keeps this show going, allowing us to bring you deep dives into amazing songs from incredible artists every week. When you join our Patreon at chrisdemakes.com, you'll get instant access to hundreds of episodes of The After Party, our weekly bonus show where producer Chris Fafalius and I talk music history, trivia, tour stories, classic albums, and whatever else comes to mind. Plus, you'll get early ad-free episodes of Chris DeMakes a Podcast, unedited video versions of each episode, and, of course, a brand new episode of The After Party every single week. If our show brings you a little joy, help us keep it going strong for just a couple bucks a month at chrisdemakes.com. Not ready to commit? No problem. You can sign up for a free membership while you decide. Thanks so much, everyone, and I hope to see you all at the after party.
Expedia and Visit Scotland invite you to come experience the beauty that awaits in Scotland. The sweep of wild coastlines, quiet lochs, and untamed landscapes. Fresh cuisine that feels rooted in the land. Come experience the kind of stillness that stays with you long after you leave. Plan your Scottish escape today at expedia.com/Visit Scotland.
Zootopia 2 has come home to Disney Plus.
Let's go!
Get ready for a new case.
We're gonna crack this case and prove we're the greatest partners of all time!
New friends.
You are... Gary the Snake. And your last name? The Snake.
Dream Team. New habitats.
Zootopia has a secret reptile population.
You can watch the record-breaking phenomenon at home.
You're clearly working at
Zootopia 2, now available on Disney Plus, rated PG.
Tomorrow morning is knocking. Stock your fridge now. How about a creamy mocha frappuccino drink? Or a sweet vanilla? Smooth caramel maybe? Or a white chocolate mocha? Whichever you choose, delicious coffee awaits. Find Starbucks Frappuccino drinks wherever you buy your groceries.
You thought this was your Run Club era. Turns out, it was more of a thinking about Run Club era. The good news? Someone's marathon training is about to start. Sell your workout gear on Depop. Just snap a few photos, and we'll take care of the rest. They get their race day fit, and you get a payout for trying. Someone on Depop wants what you've got. Start selling now. Depop, where taste recognizes taste.
This episode is brought to you by State Farm. You know those friends who support your preference for podcasts over music on road trips? That's the energy State Farm brings to insurance. With over 19,000 local agents, they help you find the coverage that fits your needs, so you can spend less time worrying about insurance and more time enjoying the ride. Download the State Farm app or go online at statefarm.com. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Feels like a prison. I'm in solitary with your views. Am I the only one who's...
And now, back to the show.
I feel like these lyrics in verse 2 I had more to do with in verse 1 now that I look at them, but I just don't remember, Raj. I like the back half of this. Those feelings will wash away. I wonder why it takes your time away from mine. That's a loaded lyric.
A little bit. It's a little bit of like, whatever interpretation you get out of it sort of works. But the idea is that like, if you need to like let go of certain things, that it's going to like open up time for someone else that they would be otherwise spending on the same thing. So it takes your time away from mine. Like that time that we're stuck in something from the past is lifted.
Right.
It's kind of a little bit like in code in there, but I think that's, what the meaning of it really is.
Yeah, and as we all know, sometimes ambiguous lyrics or vague lyrics are the best ones because people can take whatever they want away from them. And, how many lyrics have been, discussed for years and years and years. Heck, at least we got the internet now. We can go check our favorite songs. Back in the day, you just sat there and argued at school lunch or recess about what the lyric was on the radio, right?
This is true.
So a couple other things, Raj, I forgot to mention, and this was interesting in the choruses. And of course, we get an octave guitar in that bridge later that's killer, but I don't hear any octaves in the chorus. I think it's just the stereos here. I don't even think there's a third one up the middle, maybe?
I would have to like listen to it again to make sure, but I would be surprised if there was nothing on there. Usually there's at least something, even if it's sort of disguised behind the guitars. There would be some kind of other voice that would just help lift the chorus a little bit. I feel like there's some kind of octave thing that's this way in the back.
Okay, well, I can't really hear it there. And another thing, when we get into the pre-choruses, and I know you did this, as I was leaving the room, I'm like, dude, this is what I hear. And you're like, all right. It's going into the pre-chorus, the guitars go, it does one of those. Do you remember doing that?
Absolutely. You got to get the and the pick slides and the guitar noises that make it sound a bit more natural. I think, the way that we record stuff like separately and with so much attention to detail, sometimes you forget that it's a rocking guitar part, and it's got to have some kind of a little bit of that live feeling where you're just kind of like, and you're like, yeah, you slap a little slide overdubs. You're giving away all my production secrets, man.
Well, and I even went as deep, Raj, as to listen to both of them over and over. I don't think they're the same round. I think it's a different take.
That would be different rounds.
Yeah, it's great.
You wouldn't fly that. That would be weird.
We didn't copy and paste the round. It was perfect. And I know I shouldn't wait. Open up this flooded gate after we get that round from the guitars. It takes us right into chorus 2.
Open up this flooded gate. Keep my sunny side up and my dirty side down. Keep kicking this life around, and I know I'm not the same. 7 years since I changed my name. Keep my sunny side up and my dirty side down. Burn everything to the ground, 'cause there's no one else to blame. Certain feelings shouldn't last forever.
This chorus, we get horns. All the harmonies are in the same place. Sunny side up, my dirty side down. Sunny side up, my dirty side down. And feelings shouldn't last forever. The horns come in with a figure when dirty side down is said. We get a stab of the horn on 7 years, and we get a swell on name. We also get a stab on certain and a swell on forever before we get into the bridge. And man, this part, probably one of the heavier feeling parts of a Less Than Jake song. It's just, got this low guttural feeling to it, mostly because of that low E tune to drop D. But you stuck this octave part, and it's not buried in the mix, man. It's there for this part, and it really, I'm glad it is, because I feel like without it, maybe the song would have been a little more linear.
Yeah, I like the octave part. I like this piece of music that we get into here, and it does kind of keep driving forward and like reinstating the like tension that the song has, and the song has like intention. It's got like a like this matters kind of intention, and that thing is like the way that
Yeah.
this feels like it just keeps it chugging forward. Like I don't know.
I'm not running away. Don't wanna close the door on my past. Instead, I'm moving on to exactly who I am.
I do recall recording this in your vocal booth in Gainesville, and this bridge came quick. I recorded it, and I felt, to borrow Lars Ulrich's term, I felt it was a little stock. I felt like, I don't know, is this the best I can come up with? And you, usually you'll be just kind of whatever if you're still deciding on a vocal with me, or you'll tell me straight out that you just hate what I just did, and you're like, no, man, it's great. And I was like, okay, and I didn't really think about it, and I'm telling you, it's not much different than what we have here, the initial idea.
Yeah, no, I think that part is probably the same from when the song was in those early phases.
Any idea why we didn't put any harmonies on this? Is just my vocal here?
Yeah, that's what's weird is when we've been playing it live, I have been singing some higher harmonies on it. I think just on the recording of it, we were trying to get it to be a little raw and kind of leave some space for that octave guitar to add some melodic flavor in there. I think it's all really intentional for me not singing on there after just kind of howling a whole chorus. So I don't know. And it also it helps us kind of fall into the next sort of broken down the breakdown section of the song. We kind of like fall into that off of that like driving thing with I don't know. It's all very intentional.
Well, and I love rhythmically what the rhythm section you and Matt are doing. The whole band is exactly who I am. Dun, 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 dun. That whole build up there is really integral to fall into the breakdown here. And the first 8 bars of the breakdown are what I'm calling the stadium rock guitar riff with a cool tom fill underneath it. On bars 8 through 16, the bass guitar is playing some cooler high notes, the horns and single piano notes, as well as single slaps of the tambourine. The vocal comes in on bar 16 through 32. And is there an organ in here as well?
Yeah, there's definitely some suspended organ notes in there. I think it. Wait, maybe it only comes in when the vocals start or something like that.
Maybe, because it's funny, and we'll get there at the very end of the song. The last thing you hear is that organ, and I'm going, wait a second, where was the organ? And I went back and I know it's in the bridge somewhere, but we got to this part, and I remember sitting there, and I'm like, it just kept ringing in my ear, Guns N' Roses. I'm like, well, what would they do? Well, they'd probably put some single piano notes here or something, and I said it to you, and next thing I know, you're out there, dialing up the piano sounds with Jason, and you're out there, and right at this moment, I don't know if you recall this or not, but John Snodgrass walks in, okay? And John, for those of you that know, John's been on the show before. He's a good bud, but he lives out in Fort Collins, so he shows up at the studio one day, and we're sitting there, and he knows what our band sounds like, and this part comes up, and it's just cranked on the speakers. It sounds great, and he hears the piano notes. He looks at me and goes, well, this is different.
Yeah. I think we're just kind of looking for some other textures to bring a different shade of light into that part of the thing, and just a couple octaves on the piano, well placed, can really do that. So there's organ and piano in this breakdown.
Yeah, it's cool. Well, the lyrics when they come in on bars 16 through 32, I try, deep down, I know I try, and that's repeated. I try, deep down, I know I try. There's harmonies on that. And in between both of those figures, we get the horns playing as well. And the horns and those vocal harmonies crescendo into the stops of chorus 3. And this is an old Less Than Jake trick. It's an old punk rock trick. I remember Crimp Shrine doing it, early Green Day. We've all done it. The dun 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 dun, the stops. It's dynamic. When they work, they work. When they don't, they're just, why are they there? And I remember this went through a couple iterations. We kind of fooled around with how many stops we were going to do here at the end.
Yeah, I feel like, when you get to this phase of a song and trying to build it out to the end and get into that third chorus, it's all like Lego blocks. It's like we could place those Lego blocks anywhere. The stops could go all the way through the first time. They could just be the first time. They could be on the first half of the first one and the first half of the second time through. Like, we kind of got to try all those options, and then you kind of see what settles and what feels like it belongs the most. And that's definitely what's happening there. We kind of have the stops on the top of it, and then we kind of kick in for a little bit, and the stops kind of come back again, and it's kind of
right.
It's a little bit jarring, but it's kind of that's what felt the best.
Keep my sunny side up and my dirty side down. Keep kicking this life around, and I know I'm not the same. 7 years since I changed my name. Keep my sunny side up and my dirty side down. Burn everything to the ground, 'cause there's no one else to blame. Certain feelings shouldn't last forever.
We comb through chorus, you kind of just reminded me of something. This song, when we started playing it, and as a band, it takes time to get a song that you just recorded or worked up to get it feeling good in a live setting. But man, this one felt good off the bat, and I think, I could be wrong, but I think some of it has to do with the guitar riff. I can't play that faster than I play it. It gets messy. It has to have this groove, so I kind of know where it's at. And then once Matt and the band falls into place, like, that's kind of where we're at.
Yeah, this is the kind of song that's kind of hard to play off tempo. When you're in this sort of speed, like, the groove is like a heartbeat, and as soon as it starts, you just feel if it's accelerated or if it's too slow. It's just one of those things that it's a very, very small window of where that riff feels good and where the tempo feels good. We can't really rush this chorus either. There's kind of a lot going on for the amount of chords that are in there and how sort of slowish it is. It's kind of intricate.
For sure. Well, chorus 3 comes in. It's I keep my sunny side, we get a hit, and my dirty side, we get hits with the full band. Dirty side down, keep kicking this life around, and I know I'm not the same. 7 years since I changed my name. Keep my sunny side, we get hits there, and dirty side down. Burn everything to the ground, because there's no one else to blame. Certain feelings shouldn't last forever. We get those same horn swells, we get the same harmonies. And then we get into the chorus 3 tag outro of the song, where the horns come in with a new part here before we get into the last bit of vocals, Raj. This horn part reminds me of a victory march from an army. Ba-ba-bum, ba-ba-bum. It's just triumphant.
But see, that's the beauty, though. It's not a new horn part. That horn part appears in the breakdown bridge. I try, deep down, I know I try. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. So it's kind of like it teases you a little bit. You've heard that line in a different motif, and now you're hearing it in the major kind of side of the chorus, and it has a little bit of a different feel.
Thank you for pointing that out. And that's great because Buddy does that a lot. There's a lot of stuff where, and I've also, and I know you have too, said, hey, what about taking that horn part at the top? I know it's in a different chord progression, but trying it at the end and see what it sounds like. It's like, wow, it still works, but oddly enough, but it does sound like a new part. At least here, it really sounds triumphant though. And it's hitting you really loud in the mix. man, I love that the horns on this track, when they're supposed to be there, they're just pummeling you. You know, when they're back here, and a lot of times that effect's hard to capture.
Yeah, the more that we keep going and recording and stuff, we end up having like one set of horns where they're out in front of your face and they're like a lead vocal, and then another set of tracks of horns that are a bit more subdued and treated a little bit more like a background vocal. And I think that we're kind of getting better and better at like that separation, and like, okay, this horn part is out in your face and it's something that is going to be triumphant with a melody line right in your face. And then some of these other horn parts are like more of in a supporting role. So yeah, it's out there, loud and proud.
Yeah, I love when they come in here. So we get that horn part, and then we get a vocal. It's like a gang. It's a whoa, oh, 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 pan left and right. Huge high harmony there from JR. Roger and I are both in there. Then we get the horn figure again, followed by a whoa, oh, oh, panned left and right, huge vocal. And then we get the final lyrics and the vocals in the song. Keep my sunny side up, my dirty side down. Burn everything to the ground, because there's no one else to blame. Certain feelings shouldn't last forever. And for those listening at home, put the song on here at the end, and you won't hear the big drop D at the end, because the big drop D wasn't played by me. So I'm off cutting vocals in the next room. I come back in and Roger goes, hey, we don't have the tag at the end. I had to play it. And I go, well, that's fine. You go, yeah, but there's no drop D. I said, well, we got to redo it. I go, just fly it from somewhere else. You go, we don't have the part. We couldn't fly it from somewhere else. It didn't exist. Sure. So the final D is a standard tune, Gene, and you can really hear it there, but no one else will know.
No one will ever know if you had never mentioned that there's any difference there. But yeah, that's just a regular D, no drop.
No drop there. And you do play the figure a little differently, and I like the way you play it. You kind of tie it off at the end differently than I play the riff. So that's Roger playing the riff at the very end of the tune.
I forgot about that. I forgot. Yeah. It's just the kind of, we kind of drop the tempo a little bit and just sort of, I just kind of slur them slightly differently. Like it just sings a little differently. I forgot about that. And there you go.
Yeah. You play it a little differently. And, you know, this was one of the songs when we went in to record that I think it had just been around for a minute. You know, when you want to go back to when you brought your girlfriend out to Atlantic City, that was our second show back out of COVID. You know, we had played that show with, it was actually with Punchline in the middle of Pennsylvania. It was late summer of 2021. And then when we went we left that night. We got to Atlantic City, played the next day. So that was 2021. That was 4 years ago. So by the time we went to record this thing, we were 2.5 years past that. I was kind of like, I don't know, wasn't that excited. Man, when the layers started coming on this thing, I was just stoked.
I was always stoked on this one. I always thought it would record well. I thought that it had the kind of message that I like in a song, that it has like a positive reinforcement of, you know, what you're doing is a good thing. It's kind of getting over crap that you've been through in the past and moving forward. It has that sort of intention and lyrical attitude that I like. And I feel like it's a positive song. I feel like it's a party song. I feel like it's the kind of song that people are like excited about. And it's like, I want to feel this way. I want to sing these words. So I was just stoked that that it stayed, you know, we were writing so many songs that were coming to the table that it stayed viable after everything else. So super stoked on it.
I am too. And I'm glad we stayed the course with this one, because I've heard so many times on the show, I can't tell you. This song was written in 5 minutes, and it's this massive, huge song. And there's other songs that are these massive, huge songs that it took years to put together. And they kept coming back. They couldn't figure out the pieces of the puzzle. And finally it came together, and I'm glad we stayed the course. The Less Than Jake Summer Circus Tour with Suicide Machines, Fishbone, Bite Me Bambi, and Catbite starts in 5 days in Atlanta, Georgia at the Masquerade on Saturday, June 7th. There is tickets still available. Bite Me Bambi is on the first leg of the U.S. run, which is primarily Midwest and East Coast. The second leg begins later this summer. So go check those out at lessthanjake.com/shows. Roger, I appreciate you being here. Are we going to play Sunnyside this summer? I want to play it every night.
You know we're playing Sunnyside this summer. Let's go.
All right. I want to play it every night. I'd ask you what else you got going on, but you're going to be with me this whole summer. So I think I know what you're doing. But if you want to plug Rehasher, anything else you got going on? I know you just recorded a new band. What's happening, dude?
Just trying to stay busy in the studio. Done a couple cool records this year with some cool ska-punk style bands. Just finished recording with The Boy Detective. And then I also got Joker's Republic. We did our second record earlier this year. That should be out pretty soon. And just staying busy and excited to be out on the road and rocking some tunes.
I hate time. I try not to spend all night overthinking what was said as the words spin in my head. Yeah, I try with all my might to get my sentences just right, so I say just what I meant, but it gets all fucked up instead. It's like words are broken again.
Always enjoy a good Less Than Jake episode. Hope you enjoyed that one with Roger. If you didn't catch the one with JR a few weeks ago, check that one out too. And of course, check out the new Less Than Jake EP, Uncharted. It's awesome. And make sure you go out and see Less Than Jake this summer on the Summer Circus Tour. We got lots more Chris DeMakes a Podcast coming right up after a few words from our sponsors, so don't go anywhere.
Get business done with the new American Express Graphite Business Cash Unlimited card. With unlimited 2% cash back on all eligible purchases, unlimited 5% cash back on flights and prepaid hotels booked through American Express Travel Online, and a flexible spending capacity that can grow with your business, you'll have the confidence to keep building. Apply today and earn a welcome offer of $1,500 cash back after you spend $50,000 in qualifying purchases on your new card within the first 6 months of card membership. Terms apply. Learn more at go.amex/graphite.
Do you hear that? Sounds like breakfast is ready. Because Quaker's coming in hot with morning nutrition. 100% whole grain oats and a good source of fiber to fuel the rhythm of your morning and kickstart your day. And that sounds absolutely delicious. Fuel to start whatever's next. Quaker, official sponsor of FIFA World Cup 26.
Chronic migraine, 15 or more headache days a month, each lasting 4 hours or more, can make me feel like a spectator in my own life.
Botox, onabotulinum toxin A, prevents headaches in adults with chronic migraine. It's not for those with 14 or fewer headache days a month. It's the #1 prescribed branded chronic migraine preventive treatment.
Prescription Botox is injected by your doctor. Effects of Botox may spread hours to weeks after injection, causing serious symptoms. Alert your doctor right away, as difficulty swallowing, speaking, breathing, eye problems, or muscle weakness can be signs of a life-threatening condition. Patients with these conditions before injection are at highest risk. Side effects may include allergic reactions, neck and injection site pain, fatigue, and headache. Allergic reactions can include rash, welts, asthma symptoms, and dizziness. Don't receive Botox if there's a skin infection. Tell your doctor your medical history, muscle or nerve conditions, including ALS, Lou Gehrig's disease, myasthenia gravis, or Lambert-Eaton syndrome, and medications, including botulinum toxins, as these may increase the risk of serious side effects.
Why wait? Ask your doctor, visit BotoxChronicMigraine.com, or call 1-800-44-BOTOX to learn more.
Hey, I'm Chris Fafalius, producer of Chris DeMakes a Podcast, and also host of One Hit Thunder. Each week on the One Hit Thunder podcast, we take a look into a one-hit wonder band or artist to determine if they deserved more success or if they were lucky to even have a hit at all. We've covered When in Rome, Jaquan, Shanice, Yellow, Squirrel Nut Zippers, Jesus Jones, Positive K, Mazzy Star, and hundreds more. With new episodes every Wednesday and special guests from the worlds of music and comedy, we always have nonstop fun, and maybe, if we're lucky, we discover some new favorite music. So if you love great songs and you often find yourself asking, whatever happened to that band? Check out One Hit Thunder wherever you get your podcasts.
As we near the end of the show, here's a band you might not know.
Welcome to this week's Band You Might Not Know. If you'd like your band to be considered for Chris DeMakes a Podcast, email your best song via MP3 only and a short bio to bandyoumighttnotknow@gmail.com. This week's featured artist is Lose to Win, a 3-piece skate pop punk band from Salt Lake City, Utah. The band are currently writing a full-length album to be released in the first half of this year. Here's a snippet of their song, Kick to the Curb.
No, you write the script and determine your life. You got rolled off, kick to the curb. Got left dead and no one said a word. You found a way, made your escape. They never knew you had it in you. They never knew you'd even try.
The Wrap with Chris and Chris.
Chris, I'm glad that you guys broke this song down because it really feels, and I'm not blowing smoke here, but I feel like this song, Sunnyside, is, of all like the newer Less Than Jake songs, I feel like this is like the new classic. Like 10 years from now, this will be one of the songs from this batch that people, you know how it takes time for people sometimes to like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Absorb a song. I guess that's the way to put it. And some people, you know, love a song right off the bat, but I feel like this is the right one. And what was really interesting to me is this song had origins in 2004.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And that's weird, especially doing this show, Chris. I mean, we've done over 250 episodes, and you know, how many people have we talked to, you know, very rarely is they have a riff or a song laying around that long, you know, that they come back to. And as I mentioned, JR is the first one to say, you know, if we haven't used it, it's an old idea. I don't want to hear it. It's yesterday's news, yesterday's trash.
You brought something up I don't think we've ever talked about. There are songs in my pile of demos or my bandmates' piles of demos, because we share a Dropbox and whatever. It's weird that there are these songs to me are like long-time favorites or songs that I've known because I either wrote or one of my friends wrote them that I've known forever, that literally we are the only people, either just me or just me and 3 other or 4 other people are the only people in the world that know these songs. And your story here is like one of those songs, and now 20 years later, it's a song that tons of people know. I think that's pretty cool.
It is. And for us to stay the course with it and see it through, it's a little weird. As Raj had mentioned, we were just really prolific during this time. We've written a lot of songs the past couple of years. And for some reason, we just kept coming back to this one, kept trying to make it work. And here we are.
Yeah. Once again, Chris, I thought this was a cool thing from this episode. We have a story of someone saying something to a songwriter, and that person, that songwriter, clocking it instantly and being like, I got to use that in a song. This isn't quite the same story as Chris Ballou and Peaches or Michael Imperioli, but this is something that someone said to Roger where he used it for inspiration for lyrics, something in the real world that stuck with him, which then he went on to then stick in tons of other people's head in the form of a song. I think that's really neat.
Yeah, and I remember him telling the story. He was just like, yeah, and the guy was like, man, keep your sunny side up and your dirty side down. You know, I could see him giving the hang tight, you know, surfer fingers with that one. But just kind of really didn't think about it. And then it's like, you know, we started putting the song together and he's singing this lyric and I'm looking at the rest of the guys and Matt and Jerry like, dirty side down. What does that mean? Like, that sounds kind of like, whoa, what are we going for here? And Roger's like, that's the lyric. And you know what? Whether anybody likes the lyric or not, hates the lyric, it's here nor there. Sometimes it is, I hate to say this, it is what it is. This is what the guy said. This is what the lyric's going to be. When we presented it to Bill Stevenson, Bill turned around and goes, well, hasn't that been the lyric all along? And we said, yeah. He goes, well, that's the lyric. He didn't even question it. He didn't want to even get into it. He's like, yeah, that's what some guy said to Raj. That's going to be the lyric. And that was the end of it. And once that happened, I signed off on it. I'm like, that's the lyric. I love it now. If anything, and I said this when we were writing the song, I said, it makes you think.
Yeah. It's funny too, because yes, like Bill said, well, it's the lyric. What do you mean? Could you imagine if you would have tried to force something else in there at the 11th hour or something after you've known it this way for all this time? And also, Chris, this is, you guys talked about it a little bit, this is kind of a different sounding Less Than Jake's song. It's not a quick punk rock song. And like, I think Roger said this, it's like a full format song. It's not a quick 2-minute punk rock song. It's a full-fledged song. And I think that's another reason why this one really sticks out.
For sure. You know, the bridge was maybe more than half as long. It might have been 3/4 as long as it is now. It's very short. The whole arena rock part with the guitar. And Roger's like, no, if we're going to go for the big rock song, we're going to go for the big rock song. And we extended that, which is probably one of my favorite parts of the song. When we play it live, the hand claps go up. It's a great reaction. I can't wait to get out to the big festivals where we're playing to a ton of people and get Get the hands in the air, and if for nothing else, it'll make for great video, Chris.
Yes. You could be like Fred Durst, Fred Durst and the Stained dude. Like, want to see those lighters out there.
Let me see those lighters in the air, Germany.
Yeah, this was awesome, man. I really, it's a real treat. We got 2 of these episodes in the past month. We got JR as well. So, it's few and far between that we get to actually, your brain kind of gets explored a little bit too here in these episodes. I know you're hosting them, but you're also a big part of the writing of these songs and stuff too. So that's pretty neat for me, and I'm sure a lot of our listeners.
Yeah, for sure. And hey, if you want to support Chris DeMakes a podcast, head over to chrisdemakes.com where you can join our Patreon and get bonus episodes each week of the after party. Cool, exciting stuff for the price of a cup of coffee, or double the price of a cup of coffee if you really want to go for the after party deluxe. You can really support us, and we appreciate it. You help keep the lights on. chrisdemakes.com. And I'll tell you something else that helps. It's those 5-star reviews on Apple Podcasts. And Chris, I know you have one ready to go. I hope the name's something weird and quirky we can have a laugh at.
This one, I don't know what this means, but this one comes from Fodderus. Fodderus. Fodderus.
Okay. Fodder us? Fodder us? Fodder?
Fodder us.
You know what fodder is? Fodder us?
Oh,
yeah, it's like fodder.
Okay.
Fodder is like, yeah.
Give us some fodder. Give us some banter.
Yeah, some banter, some fodder, something to chew on word-wise.
That's what we're doing. We're foddering them up. We're foddering them up. Well, fodder us.
Hello, Modder. Hello, fodder.
There you go. Fodder us gave us 5 stars and said 12 thumbs up and wrote, if you've ever written a song or played in a band, this podcast is mandatory listening. There's always something interesting in every episode. The Bill Stevenson episode transcends the podcast form and is a must listen for everyone. And I think this review was written before we had Bill back again as well. So listen to both Bill episodes.
I love that. Well, thank you, Fodder Us. Thanks to each and every one of you out there listening. And don't forget, Less Than Jake's Summer Circus starts in 5 days. If you haven't gotten your tickets already, go check out lessthanjake.com/shows. And we definitely want to see you there with the Suicide Machines, Fishbone, Bite Me Bambi, and Catbite, 2 separate legs over the summer. And I want to thank JR for being with us a couple weeks ago. Also want to thank Tim and Brittany from Catbite, Jay Navarro from Suicide Machines, and this week, Roger Lima from my band, Less Than Jake, for sitting in the hot seat. And we'll see you next week. Hey friends, have you been loving Chris DeMakes a podcast? Well, spread the love by leaving a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Don't hesitate to share what you enjoy about the show in an actual written review on Apple Podcasts. Not only does it help more people discover us, but we often read reviews in the wrap segment of the show. It's a quick, cost-free way to support us and takes just a minute of your time. Your reviews mean the world to us and help us keep the podcast thriving. Thank you for being a listener, and thank you for being a friend.